Hey kids, welcome to our holiday-themed episode of Brain Food. Later on in today's show, I'm going to demonstrate how to create your very own wreath during our arts and crafts segment. So all of today's vocabulary terms will be related to the art of wreaths. Our first term of the day is evergreen. Evergreen can be used as an adjective and a noun. As a noun, it refers to a plant such as a pine or laurel that has leaves that stay green through more than one growing season. Evergreen plants are traditionally used to create wreaths because they symbolize growth and everlasting life.
Hey everyone, it's me, Sky. I'm at the Polk County History Center where they have a bunch of cool things going on for Christmas. Let's go inside. I'm here with Murtis, the Historic Preservation Manager at the History Center. So Murtis, what is the History Center?
You know, the History Center is a museum. So what is a museum? For us, a museum is in a building that is itself an artifact. The building actually served as the center for Polk County government for many years. And then in 1998, it opened as a museum, and now instead of serving Polk County government and the residents of the county, we tell the stories of the early history of the county and people who were pioneers who came to the county and helped settle the county. Oh my, we have stories about steamboats. We have stories about early cow hunters and how they collected cattle and drove cattle across the state. We have stories about early transportation, including railroads and when railroads came through the county. Just many stories. And in fact, one of the programs that we've developed to help our young learners learn about the history is we have a program called Story Seekers. So there are many, many stories about history of Polk County that is in a scavenger hunt form. So when you come to the History Center, to this museum that tells the story about Polk County history, you have an opportunity to actually go and seek out these stories and experience our early history.
Why is history important to a kid like me?
History is important to all ages because when we learn about our past, it helps us to gain a much stronger appreciation of our present and our future. Let me give you an example of that. We will next year be commemorating a very, very important point in history, the 19th Amendment. The 19th Amendment gave women the right to vote. Women didn't always have the right to vote. And so it's very interesting to learn about the people that helped create this change in our country and what that meant, and maybe learn about women in Polk County who helped forge that wonderful opportunity.
The History Center looks so beautiful. What are all these decorations?
These decorations are all about Christmas. For 9 years, we have been inviting designers, amateur designers, but very talented amateur designers, to create beautiful wreaths. So on every door and in special places around the museum, we have displayed 33 beautifully decorated wreaths. Why do we do that? So the History Center has a sense and a feeling of the Christmas season.
What about this room?
This room, is a special room this year. This room is Santa's study. So at special times during the month, Santa actually arrives and he brings with him a very special book. Santa has a naughty and nice book. And you know what? You can look in his book and find out if your name is on his nice list.
Do I need a ticket to get into the museum?
It's important to watch for the schedule of when Santa could be here. Varying times, he's already made an appearance earlier in the month, and there will be different times through December that we'll be featuring him here. So a great way to find Santa in his study is to watch the History Center, go to the web page, watch for us on Facebook. It's on the county's Facebook page to see when Santa is actually resting for a little bit in his study. You don't need an appointment. You just need to know when he's here. You can come visit, walk in the room, talk with him, look in his book, and guess what? He'll even let you take a picture with him.
After Christmas is over, are there still things for kids to do?
We have wonderful opportunities for young learners to enjoy the History Center all year round. Of course, the exhibits are on display always, and there's always more to learn. Every time you come, you'll find something new in an exhibit that you've visited before, but you'll notice something different about it. And we have a very special place. The Children's Discovery Center is a great way for young people to come learn about Polk County. We have some exhibits in there that date back many, many, many years and feature artifacts and prehistoric animals and bones. And we even have a video of an archaeological dig that occurred very close to here. So there's the discovery room where there's opportunities to learn things. There are many exhibits. And then in addition to that, we have an educator, our curator of education and programming. That's a museum term, curator of education and programming, who is always creating new ways to discover and learn about our history, either through tours or story seekers or through History Time Tots for very special learners, 5 and younger, or for special tours that are created for a particular interest, if you're interested in transportation or if you're interested in something else, maybe phosphate mining or agriculture or cow hunting or tourism. So we always have opportunities that change, they're different, and they're very exciting. Again, just have to watch us on Facebook, watch our calendar, watch our website, and if you really want to be close to us, sign up to be a recipient of our email contact list. And all you have to do is just let me know that you'd like to be on that list. And you can do that just by calling the History Center, and we'll add you. And every time we have something special happening, you get a personal email message right from the History Center.
Wow, Murtis, this is great, and the museum looks so beautiful. I can't wait to tell my family about it and come for a visit.
And we'll be waiting for you. We have people who will just be standing, waiting to greet you and introduce you to a wonderful journey through Polk County's history.
That's all for now. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Hey kids, welcome to our holiday-themed episode of Brain Food. Later on in today's show, I'm going to demonstrate how to create your very own wreath during our arts and crafts segment. So all of today's vocabulary terms will be related to the art of wreaths. Our first term of the day is evergreen. Evergreen can be used as an adjective and a noun. As a noun, it refers to a plant such as a pine or laurel that has leaves that stay green through more than one growing season. Evergreen plants are traditionally used to create wreaths because they symbolize growth and everlasting life.
Hey kids, welcome to Where's That At? The game show that takes you around the world. You know, geography is one of those subjects that you may ask, why do I need to know that? Well, I've got an answer for you. Hey DJ, hit that funky music!
Well, if you've ever wondered why geography is so important, you don't need to look any further than vacation, news, or environment. Every day we deal with things relevant to our location. Weather, politics, and food. Deserts, prairies, mountain formations. Oh, geography, where would we be? Where would we be? Oh, geography, where would we be without you? Geography teaches us many things, the least are names of places. It shows we're all connected, no matter language or color of faces. From the Russian tundra to the Philippines tropical breeze. People are people cause we all share the land, the skies, and the seas. Oh, geography, where would we be? Where would we be? Oh, geography, where would we be without you? fun to our neighbors. What an awful world here would be. Less resources, unshared knowledge, beautiful places we'd never see. Geography's about all that, how the world works and where. Take a look at what matters most, you'll see. It's what we all share. Oh, oh, geography, where would we be? Where would we be? Oh, oh, geography, where would we be? Oh, oh, geography. Oh, geography. Where would we be? Where would we be?
Well, now you have an idea of why geography is so important. And you better believe Santa is studying his maps. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thanks for joining me on Where's That At? I'll see you next time.
Oh, hello. Would you like to learn some holiday practical magic? Well, think about it this way. Right after Halloween, you start to eat all your Halloween candy, and by the time you're done with that, it's time for Thanksgiving and a really big meal. And then, well, around Christmas time, there's all sorts of sweet treats, aren't there? Well, after all of that, things can start to get a bit tight. Look at it this way. When you take in food, you take in something called calories. And calories are a lot like the wax you find around candles. When you burn a candle, you burn away the wax and the candle gets smaller. Well, if you burn away the calories, you get smaller. So how do you do that? Well, if you're on a soccer team, you can burn calories really easily. My friend Ellen has a bicycle and she burns a lot of calories that way. But I'm not on a soccer team and I don't have a bicycle. Do you want to know what my secret is? Well, I use one of my favorite things. Not books, music. You can use music to burn away calories. I'll show you how. Music, please. There it is. Let's just start by walking. It's a little bit boring, isn't it? Well, you can make walking into marching. Marching is much more fun. But even after a while, marching gets boring. So let's try something else called a side step. This is a side step. It's a single side step. And the reason I say that is because we're about to do a double side step. And now we're going to make it even more fun by doing something called the reindeer shuffle. Ready? 1, 2, run, run, run. 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 That's the reindeer shuffle. Now up until now, all we've done is move our legs. Now the arms are involved. Up and out and up and out. Up and out and up and out. Let's have a little more fun and put all of it together. And then after we're through, we'll do what's called freestyle. You can dance around in any way you like. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, side step. Good job. Now we'll do double side step. 1 and 2, clap. Ooh, we added the clap. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, and back to marching. Here comes the reindeer shuffle. Step, step, run, run, run. 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 Back. Well done. You ready? This is the part where we just get to have fun. Freestyle. Burning lots of calories. Good job. Well done. Good job. And I hope you have a very happy and delicious holiday season. Bye-bye.
It's time for our third vocabulary term of the day. The word bauble is a noun and it refers to a trinket or an ornament. For example, I crafted my Christmas wreath with lots of baubles and embellishments that were full of holiday cheer. I know you know me as the terminology girl, but one of my very favorite Christmas traditions each year is to make a wreath for the Polk County History Center Festival of Wreaths. It's a very cool thing every year that they do to raise money for programming, and essentially they ask people around the community to decorate a wreath. So I am going to actually show you how to take this very plain wreath and give you some tips and tricks on how to make it professional and beautiful. So the very first thing I like to do when I am thinking about creating a wreath is to consider what elements I want to include in it. And when I do that, I always kind of remember back to my art classes. And I think about the elements and principles of art that I learned. So I always make sure that I incorporate things that have different textures. Like this is shiny and it also has kind of a embossed pattern on it. I like things that are fuzzy. I like things that are striped and patterned. I try to include little elements that are a little unexpected and maybe a little bit whimsical. You always have to have your ribbon because that incorporates line and additional pattern. And every wreath always has to have a bow, but I like to do something unexpected. So today I'm actually going to put Santa in the middle of the bow just to give it a little bit of whimsy and fun. One of the very first things that I always do for my wreaths is the ribbon, because it can kind of get in the way if you try to do it later. So if you do it from the beginning, it makes it a little bit easier. So I always like to pick a nice fun ribbon. I chose red and white because green and red are complementary colors and they're gonna look really good together. They're gonna stand out and be really fun. So we're just gonna start. Just kind of tuck the ribbon in. And we're going to try to remember that we're going to keep it balanced and proportioned. And we want to leave a little bit of space because you never want to get things too crowded. In case you get bored. So that leaves us about here, where it's evenly spaced and has a nice balance and proportion to it. After that, I usually start adding some of my bigger elements, like my bow. So we're gonna be using a hot glue gun today, so make sure you have your parents' help because those things can be vicious. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and glue Santa into the middle of my bow. So that's just gonna make it just a little bit more interesting. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect my bow to my wreath. There we go. So for my next element, I actually picked these because I think they were really fun and whimsical. They have a little bit of red, a little bit of white, and they have a lot of different texture and sheen and a lot of things that make it a little fun. It's also one of the bigger elements, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in now. And again, I'm paying attention to make sure that I'm balancing out this wreath as I go. So if I put something on one side, I try to kind of put it on the other side and balance out where I'm putting things. So that is where we are so far. So I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a little bit too much red, so I think I'm going to start adding some white. I love these because they remind me of snowballs. They have a great texture, they're shiny, and they're pretty. All nice and fuzzy. So these I'm just going to have to hot glue on here. very careful not to get your fingers. There we go. A little more white to balance it out. Brings in Santa's beard a little bit. But then I like to add a contrasting texture. So again, this is embossed. It's kind of a raised texture that's very shiny. It's faceted, kind of like a diamond. Again, I keep paying attention to what I'm doing so that I try to keep it balanced and even. So we're getting there. I think we need a few more smaller elements. So another thing I always consider is scale. So I try to make sure I have big elements and I have some small elements. So I found these really fun ornaments. They're just little shiny plain and shiny with little snowballs in them. Just a little bit of whimsy. I like keeping things fun. So now we have some larger elements and some smaller elements and shine and shape and texture, and I think we're almost done. But what I always like to do is add just a little bit more whimsy. So I always like to bring in an element that might add or stick out to the side so that it just brings a little more dimension. So there is my final wreath. It contains all the elements of art and it's fun and whimsical, and I very much enjoyed making it with you. I hope you can join your parents or your siblings and make this part of your holiday tradition as well.
Oh, hello, and welcome to the Christmas edition of Storytime. Did you know that even at this magical time of year, it's difficult for some people to get into the Christmas spirit? It's true. For example, some people are alone and have trouble getting into the holiday spirit by themselves. Or, as in the case of today's story, sometimes you simply can't get home for Christmas. So what do you do under those circumstances? Well, let's find out by reading today's story, Can't Be Home for Christmas. Ready? Santa's workshop is a very busy place in the weeks leading up to Christmas. And not just the workshop, the shipping department gets very busy too. Mrs. Claus, who is a whiz at geography, is in charge of the shipping department. It's her job to make sure that every toy has a delivery label and that each toy is loaded in order onto the sleigh. "Oh my," said Mrs. Claus. "That doll doesn't have a label and that bear hasn't been brushed. Stop the machine! Stop!"
What's going on here? We've got a schedule to keep. Who stopped the line? Oh, good evening, Mrs. Claus. Were you the one who stopped the conveyor belt, ma'am? We have a schedule to keep, and if we don't...
I have been on this line for many more years than you have, Clyde, and I don't need to have the process or the schedule explained to me, thank you very much. Now then, that doll doesn't have a label, and this bear's hair hasn't been brushed.
Oh my, Good catch, Mrs. Claus. Thank you so much. Clem! Clem, get in here!
Yes?
This doll has no label. How are we supposed to know who she's supposed to be delivered to? And this bear hasn't been brushed.
Okay, sorry.
Are you all right, Clem?
Yes, ma'am.
No, you're not. Come on now, Clem. We like happy elves working here. Please tell me what's wrong.
When you're stationed in the workshop, you get to go home on Christmas Day. When you're stationed in the shipping room, you don't get to go home until the day after.
All the elves rotate between the two rooms. You won't be in the shipping room more than any other elf.
All right, Clyde. Just a minute. Where are you from, Clem?
Do you mean where do I live in the spring and summer?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean.
I live in Polk County, Florida, ma'am.
I'm not sure that I've been there. Have you ever used the window to the world? Well, I'll tell you what. We'll use the magic window to the world, and you can show me around. Window to the world, take me on a trip. I don't want to go on a plane or a ship. Take me to the place that I'm about to name. Show me all its wonders and its claim to fame. Polk County.
Ooh, that's Circle B Bar Ranch. They have trails and a lake and a tram ride. Oh, and that's the Lakeland Tigers. They play at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium. And that's Bog Tower. There's a huge singing tower there in Pretty Gardens. And that's Legoland. Clyde, you'd love Legoland. It's awesome.
Well now, Polk County sounds like a very special place.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
You know, Clem, there are all sorts of people who have to work on Christmas Day. Important people like firemen and policemen and people who make sure that you have water and power.
And elves?
Exactly. Now, your job in the shipping department is very important, Clem. We'll be counting on you to do it well. But, well, now that you know how the window to the world works, you may use it when you're on your break or at lunch. Is that fair?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Mrs. Claus.
Oh, right you are, Blitzen. Now, you two will have to excuse me. The reindeer have asked me to referee a game of kickball. You know how much they love their games. Keep up the good work, Clem. Clyde, you're in charge until I get back.
You know, Clem, Polk County sounds really cool. Maybe I'll come and visit you next year?
That would be great. Oh, Legoland has a water park. If you come in the summer, we can go there.
Sounds awesome. You okay, Clem?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay then, back to work. Start the machine. Let's get going. We've got a schedule to keep.
The end. Merry Christmas, everyone.
I hope you've enjoyed our holiday-themed episode of Brain Food. It's time for our last vocabulary term of the day. The word garland is a noun, and it refers to a ring or rope that is made of leaves, flowers, or some other material and used as a decoration. So technically, all wreaths are actually garlands made of evergreen plants that are embellished with baubles. Thank you for joining me, and I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. I'll see you next time for more terminology.